What is up, guys? Welcome back to YouTube Berlic, and today we are doing our first ranking in 7 months. Like, I was looking back at my videos, and obviously since the first half of this channel, I've not been uploading close as much. It's been like 2 videos a month, but I had to look back at it. It has been 7 months since I last did a ranking. The King Crimson ranking is still being worked on, but instead of doing that today, we are doing a pretty short band with a short discography, just like System of a Down, and it's a really elite one of 5 albums. We're going Sting's band, The Police. I mean, everybody in this band is so talented. Stuart Copeland, God-level drummer. He's so fun with his fills. And Andy Summers, too, a pretty good songwriter and a very good guitar player. So, yeah, that's about it. Yes, it's our first ranking in 7 months. I'm ready for it. Let's get into this ranking after the intro.
Here you go.
Alright guys, so that was the intro, and yeah, we're just ready for our first ranking in over half a year. And sorry if there's some background noises. There's construction going on my road, and it's like it sounds like people are getting killed by jackhammers. But yeah, let's go into this ranking. 5 albums, tight discography, only 5 years of incredible band. Let's get into it. And number 5, I have maybe a bit of a surprising one. Number 5, I have the debut, Outlandos de Amor, from what, I have to remember here, I think, 1978, November 1978. So yeah, the debut album, really good jammy ska reggae rock. I think it's a solid album. And I was watching a couple other Police rankings. Some people mention this, and I'm not copying off them. This is how I feel. I actually stand by this. Most bands that I love, or artists that I listen to, I always love the deep cuts more than the hits. The Police, no. They're a singles band. And that is what happens on this album. That's my main problem with it. Sure, it's a lot of fun, jammy stuff, and there's a charm to it. But at the end of the day, the deep cuts just aren't it. I mean, there are 4 absolutely incredible songs on here, and they're all like the actual singles. Next to You, So Lonely, Roxanne, and Can't Stand Losing You. 3 of which are the singles, and it's a pretty front-loaded album, because out of those 4 songs that I absolutely enjoy, 3 of them are the first 3 tracks. But the full track list on here are, yeah, Next to You, So Lonely, Roxanne, Whole of My Life, Peanuts, Can't Stand Losing You, Truth Hits Everybody, Born in the 50s, Be My Girl Sally, and Masoko Tanga. Yeah, so I firmly believe that the Police, I like their singles a lot more than the deep cuts, but they have some great deep cuts, just not really much on this album. A lot of jamming stuff, but yeah, I think Roxanne's absolutely incredible, great grooves, and Next to You, So Lonely, and Can't Stand Lose You, which is probably my favorite song on the album. Lyrics get very dark. They're just all great jammy tracks, and the other songs I don't like Whole in My Life at all. And like Peanuts, Be My Girl Sally, just very forgettable stuff. So good jamming stuff, but mostly forgettable with 4 good tracks. Not amazing, but good tracks. So yeah, I think the debut, they're still kind of finding their sound, but their second album is my second to last, and I think this is really when they found their signature sound. And coming in at number 4, I have Regatta de Blanc from 1979. So their second album. And yeah, I think this album just kind of improves upon everything from the first one. Again, sorry for the jackhammer noises. They're digging through the pipes and stuff and, you know, ruining all the water. But yeah, there was some incredible songs in this second album. And honestly, there's about 4 lead songs in this one, just like the first one, but I would take these over the first. And honestly, I think the deep cuts are just a lot more memorable than the debut, which is my main problem with the debut. And those elite songs are Message in a Bottle. The drums are perfect. It is such a great riff. It's just an incredible song. Bring on the Night's really interesting. Walking on the Moon, I absolutely love that song. That's my favorite song on this album. It's pretty much just reggae rock, and it's really good, really fun too. And Does Everyone Stare with the piano in it? I always thought that's an underrated song that I really like. That's a highlight too. But Any Other Day and No Time This Time, I really don't think are very memorable. And again, the deep cuts on this one, they're not even close to elite at all. But they're better than the first one, and I just would take the 4 standout songs on this album over the debut, which is why Regatta de Blanc, the band's second album, comes in 4th. Coming in at number 3, we have one of the largest albums ever made, Synchronicity from 1983. This album has a lot of great songs, but here's the problem. They're all in the second half. The Police usually put their singles all packed together, either at the beginning or at the end. This album is at the end, and like their first album is kind of punk rock. The next three like follow like reggae rock, and they get progressively more contemporary. And this one is completely contemporary, and it's mostly just pop, but some, experimentation too, which I think is kind of cool. But yeah, the Synchronicity parts 1 and 2, I think are both very good tracks. Especially, I like part 2 more. I think it's more catchy, but they're both really good songs. Walking Your Footsteps, that's a really good experimental song. Yeah, again, this is just their most experimental song or album, but it's also their most poppy album in a sense. So, but I really like that track. But then you kind of get to a bad part, because the songs Oh My God, Miss Gradenko, and Mother are horrible. 2 of which are very forgettable, and honestly on the bad side of forgettable. And Mother's just a bad song, got Andy Summers singing it. And yeah, my dad actually likes that song because it's just like so awful that it's good, but it's just not fun to sit through. It's just straight up bad song. Their only one as well. So yeah, you have Synchronicity 1, Walking Your Footsteps, which are good songs. They're not incredible songs, but they're good. Then some bad songs. But then you get to a really good part of the album. Synchronicity 2, as I already talked about. Really just fun track. Every Breath You Take, which it's their biggest song. It's really good. Yes, the lyrics are weird. But yeah, it's beautiful and has a really great guitar riff and a great open part there with like the piano and stuff. And Sting's vocal performance is really good. But I know why that's the most popular song, because it's their most different song. You listen to like Roxanne, Sting's high voice, like nee, nee, nee. That's how he sounds like, but that's how I like to describe it. And like nee, nee, guitars. All their songs, all their hits are like that. So you get to this and it's like doon 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 doon. It's so much different than all their other hits, and that's why it has over 1 billion views on YouTube. King of Pain, incredible song. That one actually has great lyrics, and then like the do do. So that I'm narrating all their songs, but like Every Breath You Take, and honestly all the hits on this album are so much different than the previous songs. You can just really hear them morph, The first album, the punk rock, and the next 3 really follow like the same, formula, but it's getting a bit more experimental and contemporary. This one completely takes away from everything else. Yeah, and Wrapped Around Your Finger, beautiful track, and Murder by Numbers is a great song as well. So you know what? The second half of this album is really, really good. Not elite, but really, really good, because I think having all the singles together kind of like doesn't make the album feel like it's like the most storybook. Jackhammer stopped. I think they're on lunch break. But yeah, and then the first half of this album is pretty bad, honestly. It's just not my favorite side of the Police. You can definitely tell that they're not having the most fun in the studio, and Sting is taking over. And my number 2, which this is usually people's 4 and 5, and honestly, I'm surprised by that, because I think this is the most The Police sounding album. Zenyatta Mondatta. I hope I said that right. Yeah, from 1980. This is the most The Police sounding thing, as I keep saying now. Albums 2, 3, and 4 is their sound. It's getting a bit more contemporary, but this one, it sounds really good. Whatever guitar tone Andy Summers uses on this, I think sounds amazing. It's just like, I don't know how to describe it, but especially on When the World is Running Down, You Make the Best of What's Still Around. I think that's what it's called. On my notes here, I only wrote When the World Is and then 3 dots because it was too long to put in. That song is one of my favorite Police songs, probably my favorite on this album. Whatever guitar tone is used there, but the ding, 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 ding. I love that so much. That sounds really good. And it's just that guitar riff and the lyrics, which makes that song so good. It's so groovy. But also the singles off here are really good too. Some of my favorites by them, Don't Stand So Close to Me. One of the best aging songs, obviously. And Do-Do-Do-Do-Da-Da-Da is what I have to say to you. Why are the song titles on this album so long? Like, come on. Those are some great, just like, really just nice songs. Canary in a Coal Mine, great track, really fun. And Behind My Camel is one of the band's best instrumentals. One of the best instrumentals of all time in my book. So I think, like, the whole first half of this album, you can tell, it's like on Spotify and YouTube, there's so many streams. And the second half, it goes like, poof. You have all the singles, some of the band's best tracks, like When the World is Running Down, Canary in a Coal Mine, Behind My Camel. Then the second half, like Shadows in the Rain and The Other Way of Stopping. The deep cuts on here, I think they're... The first half of this album actually is some of the band's only elite deep cuts, but the second half, like, whatever. If they spread out the track list, this might have a shot at number 1, but at the same time, it really doesn't have a shot at number 1, because my number 1 Police album is Ghost in the Machine from, I gotta check 1981, October 1981, with the alarm clock, as I like to call it. And I was saying, maybe there's a chance in Yada Mondada hits number 1 if, they spread out the track list. No, it doesn't, because this album's singles rule over all other Police songs. I'd probably take, the 4 singles off this album over all other Police songs. Except for When the World Is Running Down. I would probably want that one too. But here's the thing. Just like the singles off here, Spirits in the Material World I love. It is pretty haunting. Just a really cool track. Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic is my favorite Police song. Everything about that track. It's so fun, poppy, but it has such a rich sound with that beautiful piano. That's like, and the cello going like, It is a beautiful track and like really fun chorus. Sting performs really well on that, and of course the drum feel like that. Dude, I just can't stop narrating this band. Stuart Copeland is a god, and then the fade out is like just a really nostalgic thing. They kind of move the piano up a bit, and it sounds really good. And Sting starts to like saying random gibberish, but it sounds so beautiful. Love the fade out too. That brings it even up for me more. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic is on this album, so that's pretty much why it's number 1. I don't care if it's their second biggest hit. I don't care. It's so good. And then Invisible Sun, you go from a really poppy, beautiful track to a haunting track. Invisible Sun is another big hit, and it's just really good. And then the other big hit on this album, Secret Journey, beautiful ambient. Sting lyrics are really good. That's an amazing track as well. And like, yeah, the 4 singles, 3 are the first 3 tracks, but they put Secret Journey towards the end, which is a good idea. And, yeah, those 4 songs. The rest of the album, I could give or take. It's fine. But, dang, man. Those 4 songs. And, Rehumanize Yourself, I also really like. Really funky song. It's actually their only explicit song. The C word's in that. So, yeah. Slap a parental advisory sticker if you ever remaster this. But, yeah, 5 really good songs. The rest is solid. I just like it's kind of like that classic Police song because it's in the middle, but they're also experimenting, with saxophones, interesting production. The vocals always really far back in the mix. It's just a really good album. And, the Police, they've never been my favorite albums band, but I think this album feels really good. I think it is really just like, it's structured well, and it has Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic, so it has to be number 1. And, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to represent the band members. I don't know who is who. Yeah. Is this Sting with the spiky hair? Let me know in the comments down below, but my favorite Sting in the Police album is Ghost in the Machine. And, yeah, it's kind of by a landslide, honestly. I knew this was going to be my number 1. I already have the CD and everything. So, yeah, consider checking out Views, my band, Bowls, Cream of Wheat. I've definitely never mentioned them before. And, yeah, the clocks just changed. We have a day longer of sun now, and we're an hour longer. Yeah, the Berlic Gang videos are going to be coming back. I'm going to try doing those a lot of outside videos. And, yeah, King Crimson ranking will be out in, the next decade or so.
Thanks for watching this video. Now look at this person. And again, thank you for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe, even though Berlic is bad. Anyways, bye.